Vivian, word on the street is you're from North Dakota. You're an atheist, and you want to know how you can have conversations with your friend regarding his faith. Secularity, and I want to know a little bit more about your friend. Who is this friend? This so-called friend?
Sure. Yeah. So I have a friend. We'll call him Mark. He's a theist. He calls himself a Catholic, which is fine. I'm not questioning that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't attest to believing anything in the Old Testament, only the New Testament. When I ask him about contradictions, or what I believe to be contradictions in the New Testament, his response is usually, "I don't know, Vivian. I'm not God." So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to convert him. He doesn't try to convert me, but
Mhm.
not to get political, but he's very progressive. He's LGBTQIA supportive. He's fine with sex outside of marriage and gay marriage. He's not really religious in any other sense.
Is he
I guess I'm
single?
just trying to know what he believes and why.
Is he single?
No, he's not single.
Okay. All right. Sorry, everyone out there. He's not single. Sounds pretty good. Go on. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's all
it-
good. I'm sorry. I get nervous easy, so I had a bit of a script.
no, stupid
No,
joke I made.
you're doing good, and
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
it's really helpful if you kind of lay out what you're gonna say
Yeah.
before you hop on. And real quick, I'll just say, Vivian, this sounds like a person that would be on my team in a couple of senses. For instance, if you're a believer in whatever type of deity you want, but you're not
Yeah.
somebody out there who is fighting to make half of the country or world second-class citizens, or being so horrendous towards trans people that you're doing all kinds of lots of terrible things. I'm not going to go through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those types of people that are for LGBTQ rights and for access to abortion and stuff, believer or not, you're on my freaking team. So I definitely like that.
Definitely
me too.
agreed.
Me too.
Yeah,
What?
I guess it's just, oh, sorry, delay on the phone.
No, please go ahead. You, Vivian.
Yeah. So I guess just I'm looking to know is how do I have that? I know what he believes, or at least he gives me kind of the reworded Apostles' Creed approach when I ask. And it's not like I'm pressuring him. We have these conversations just from time to time as they happen organically. I guess in that situation, how do I have how do I ask the why? I guess instead of just giving that
Okay.
Apostles' Creed approach.
Yeah. That's. And does this friend Mark want to have these conversations? Like, is Mark
Yes,
jazzed when you say this stuff?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very good friends. We hang out a lot. And just every now and then we'll have some sort of light banter, and if the situation's fine, we'll have that discussion. So it's not like we're pressing for each other, but it usually feels like it just ends up in a dead end.
This is my experience with my friend Patrick, who doesn't watch the show, but hey, Patrick, and my friend Chris, who doesn't watch the show and is far more vehement in his belief. But I just when something comes up and we talk about it, I try to shelter Patrick from the nasty memes, the mean memes about how absurd religion is. But but he does come to me sometimes, and I'm like, hey, if God does this, and then I just have conversation like I don't believe this discrete claim. Like, for example, I would get specific. Get specific.
Okay.
And don't say I'm an atheist and I think everything you believe is stupid and a lie. You're not doing that already, I can tell. But if something comes up, let's say for example, one of my favorites is the resurrection story, the Easter story. You got a whole bunch of different versions. Not all of them can be right, but all of them can be wrong. I would ask him, how do you justify, like, build me a timeline of what happened here, right? As kind of a just a like a cookie to give him to go work on and come back to you. But as far as why does he believe? Yeah, I know the Apostles' Creed, the Nicene Creed. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all things seen and unseen, and all that jazz. This is about as far as I can go at this point. I was like, but why? And then he'll just, but you believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. Okay, tell me why you believe that a God exists. And it's probably going to be one of these self-referential things, or it'll be, I had an experience that I can't explain. And you can try to like show, well, that's a fallacy, that's a fallacy, that's a fallacy, that is going to go over particularly well. But you can say, okay, but here's why I don't believe that. And then you can articulate from a point of expertise why you don't believe it. And then maybe he can say, well, here's why you should. And he's like, but then here's why I don't. And this is a combative
Gotcha.
space, right? But you're coming from a friend space. I was hanging Christmas lights. I've mentioned it before in brief. Hanging Christmas lights, talking about why I don't believe that Christmas is a thing with my friend Patrick. It was a really nice conversation. We're drinking, we're hanging Christmas lights, right? And then I'm chastising him for not going to church on Sunday, from like, you believe in this stuff, Patrick. Why aren't you going to church on Sunday? And you can have that kind of collegial rivalry friend kind of teasing thing if you cultivate it right. But always come back to specific points and speak from your own experience. He doesn't think you're a bad person, obviously. Still your friend.
No.
Just believes in supernatural stuff. And I would just come out and say, I know you believe it, but why?
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
where street epistemology,
Yeah.
you probably have already heard about that. I think their
Yes.
organization is finally getting close to finishing an actual guide on how to kind of train in this particular style of conversation and questioning.
Oh, great.
I would I would also ask Vivian, because I heard Dr. Daryl Ray say this once when somebody asked him about, how to have these tough conversations, and the first thing that he asked was, well, what's your motivation? Are you trying to deconvert them? Well, you said earlier in the call, no, not really, right? You're just trying to have a conversation where you can respectfully push back on each other, but still learn about each other. And so my suggestion there would be genuine curiosity. When somebody comes up to me and starts explaining their job title, right? And I just have no freaking idea what the hell they are talking about, and and I go, "Oh my gosh, well what is that?" And they go, "Well, we do this, and then most days we have this, and by the time we end, blah blah blah." And I go, "Oh gosh, well what happens if person A does th-" And so that genuine curiosity really brings the tone down. I mean,
Yeah.
right? Because you're not, like you said, you're not trying to deconvert. You're not trying to, change views or anything. You just want to know,
Hmm.
and just simply asking sometimes the questions are dumb. Sometimes they're going to be dumb, Vivian, but sometimes you got to ask some dumb questions
Yeah.
so that you can get a better understanding, and don't be afraid of that. So,
And friends cut each other slack.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I tell you
Oh,
what,
for
I'm
sure.
going to let you go. I do appreciate you calling. It's a great question. It's a question that comes up all the time. We always have this one. But here's something that doesn't happen. People don't ever call back with the results of what we
Yeah,
talked about. I want you to call back. I
do
say,
it.
please tell us how it went with Mark. Okay. And if Mark wants to call, I'm not going to give Mark a hard time. SR isn't. We'll just have a conversation with Mark. And I'm going to let you go right now. And I'm going to tell the beautiful people who are watching right now that we're going to let you go too. And you're going to let us
Mhm.
go. If you love a thing, you have to let it go. And if it comes back to you, it was meant to be.